Hello and welcome to my channel Distinctive Crochet. My name is Priscilla and today we are back for part 4 of the owl pillow tutorial. So I have finished the color work of the chart and I am just finishing off this last round here. So once I get back around to my stitch marker, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and work 8 rounds and just single crochet in the back loop only, working over your owl color using the pillow color so that you maintain the thickness of the fabric. And once you have your 8 rounds completed, then we'll come back to the video and I'll show you guys how to close off the top and bottom of the pillow. And you will need 4 buttons for the top part. But if you choose not to use the buttons, then you can just go ahead and follow the instructions for the bottom and you'll be good there. All right, so I will meet you back when I have my 8 rounds. All right, and I made it back. So I have completed my 8 rounds. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to go ahead and cut off our owl color yarn because we're finished carrying that. And the next thing we're going to do is start working on closing off the top. So and then that way you'll be able to take the pillow out for cleaning as necessary. So the first 10 stitches we're going to do is slip stitch. So we're right here at our stitch marker and we're just going to slip stitch across the first 10 stitches. So all you have to do is just go into the back loop, pull up a loop, and then pull through the one on your hook. So just a slip stitch. So there's the first one, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is single crochet in the back loop only. And we're going to do that for the next 51 stitches across. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on mine and then I will meet you back when I have it done. So just work 51 stitches across, single crochet in the back loop only. Okay, so I made it back and I have my 51 stitches all the way across, and that leaves about 10 stitches over on this side here. So all we need to do now is we're just going to go ahead and chain up 1 and turn. And now all we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and work the same 51 stitches all the way across in both loops this time. So we're just going to single crochet all the way across in both loops. So you want to make sure you're getting that very first stitch because the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then you want to work in both loops a single crochet all the way across for those 51 stitches. Make sure you leave the other slip stitch stitches unworked. Alright, so I'll meet you back when I have it to the end of the row. Okay, so I made it back and I left those slip stitches undone, unworked. So we're just going to keep working in that same manner for another 7 rows. So all we're going to do is chain 1 and turn and work the single crochets all across those 51 stitches in the both loops. Alright, so you're just going to keep working this for 7 more rows and that'll give you a total of 8 rows. So when I have mine all done, I'll come and meet you back. So just make sure you're only working those 51 stitches. And this is just going to act like a tab that we'll use to fold over to the back, and then we'll place buttons for the closure. Alright, so I'll meet you back when I have my 7 rows completed. Okay, so I made it back. I just did my 7 rows up. So I've already chained 1 and turned. So now we're going to start our rows for our buttonholes. So we're just going to go ahead and single crochet in the first 5 stitches in both loops. And now we're just going to chain 2 and we're going to skip 2. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 11. So here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to chain 2 and skip 2. And now we're going to work the next 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now we're going to chain 2 and skip 2. Single crochet 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to chain 2 and skip 2 and single crochet in the last 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now we have completed our row for our buttonholes here. So now we're just going to chain 1 and turn. And then we're just going to work single crochets across the row. And then when we come to the buttonhole, we'll put 2 single crochet in the hole. So in the very first stitch, we're going to put a single crochet, and in each stitch across. And then when we come to this buttonhole here, we're just going to put 2 single crochets right into there. And then we'll just put 1 single crochet in each one across. And then as soon as you get to the buttonholes, you're just going to make sure you put 2 single crochets right into that buttonhole. Alright, so I'm just going to put 2 single crochets right in here. Alright, so just keep working the same way all the way across, and then you're going to chain 1 and turn, and then you're going to work single crochet row right back across, and then you'll finish off and I'll meet you back. Alright, so I made it back, and I have finished my last row of single crochet, and I went ahead and finished off. And so now we have my 4 buttonholes here. Yep, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep. So that's just going to fold over the top of the pillow like this to the back. And then we're going to get our buttons, and then we'll match it up to where the buttonhole is. And then just going to need to sew it down and make sure it matches up with the hole. And then you can go on to the next 3 and do the same thing for the other 3 buttonholes. Alright, so for the sides that are still open, we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch those closed. So I did this side already. So you want to make sure your stitch marker is on the edge and straighten it out nice and neat. And make sure that your owl is in the middle of the pillow. And also make sure that the stitches are lining up. So you want to count that you have 10 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you want to make sure those are matching up. And then you can line them up and slip stitch it to close. Alright, so let me just rejoin my yarn right here. and then I'm just going to slip stitch it on to join, and now we're ready to go to slip stitch it closed. You could also sew it closed with a yarn needle if you prefer. So I'm just going to the back loop on the other side and slip stitch it closed. So the front loop on the side closest to me, and then the back loop on the side further away, and slip stitch to close. So the front loop on the side closest to me and the back loop on the side further away, and slip stitch to close. And make sure that you have them lined up and matched up, and then just continue on to slip stitch to close. So you just want to make sure you have this seamed up. You can sew it, slip stitch it, or however else you would like. Alright, so I just have one more stitch to go. Alright, so now I'm just going to pull it through and finish off. So make sure you do your other side as well. I had mine done already. So now this is pretty much done. All you have to do now is for the inside, for all your tails, and you can just tie them on a knot together a couple times, and then once you have them tied off, then you can go ahead and weave them in. So you just want to go back and forth in a couple different directions to weave them in, so that they don't fall out as you're if you put this in the wash machine, if your yarn is safe for you to do that. So I'm just going to tie these in a knot and weave them in. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we'll seam up the bottom. Okay, to seam up the bottom, we're just going to do the same thing that we did on those open sides. So I'm just going to slip stitch to join my new yarn at the bottom, and then we're just going to slip stitch to close. So you could also sew up the bottom or seam it in any way that you like, but I'm just going to slip stitch mine to close. So I'm just going to slip stitch the new yarn to join at the bottom, and then I'm just going to follow the same thing. So I'm going to go on the front loop and then on the back loop on the other side and slip stitch to close. So the front loop close to me and the back loop on the other side and slip stitch to close. Alright, so just go ahead and keep working that all the way across to finish closing up the bottom. And this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. All you have to do now is make sure all your ends are woven in. And this is what it looks like all finished. So thank you again so much for coming along with me and following this 4-part tutorial. I really appreciate all the support, and I hope you enjoy your finished project. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you some pictures of it finished. So I went ahead and put in the pillow insert, and this is what it looks like from the back, and you can see how the buttons across the top close it off. And then here is the front with the beautiful picture of the owl, and this is so wonderful as a nice accent pillow on your couch. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.